Welcome to what feels like the end of the world. We're here on the narcotics superhighway into the United States, and possibly the most dangerous part of Mexico. We're in Baja California. Man, it's really creepy out here. Everywhere you go, there's like the remains of animals that passed away. We're in the middle of the desert. There's like no rain here. You see vultures circling up ahead. I've never seen so many stray dogs in one town. Hola. Tengo una pregunta. ¿Por qué hay tantos perros en las calles aquí?
Porque está prohibido matarlos, güey, se crían muchos perros.
Oh, ¿en serio? ¿Es prohibido matarlos?
Sí.
Ah, por eso.
Sí.
Pero es que veo muchos esqueletos por todas partes.
Sí, hay perros muertos también, pero hay muchos vivos.
Ah, sí. Muchos vivos, muchos muertos.
Y no los cuidan.
Porque no hay nada para comer aquí.
Ajá.
Es el desierto.
Sí.
Salt. The most abundant white powder in the world. And this is the largest salt producing region in Mexico. What a fun fact. What might be more interesting is that this is also the region that smuggles the most drugs into Mexico. And where do they end up? You know where they end up. As we drive along back towards Tijuana, the border with the US, gonna have to be careful. Americans have often gone missing here, kidnapped, murdered. Smugglers don't like you messing with their routes. With that said, oh no, it's not. Mexico, come on. Spay the dogs, neuter the dogs. What is the verb? I always forget. This is what Baja California is known for. Fish tacos, shrimp tacos. And I just ordered like 5 of them because it's gonna be about 4 or 5 hours before we get to civilization again. So. Mexico, ¿cómo te extrañaba? Oh, hey, who's under there? Come here. Oh, Jesus Christ, don't give me rabies. Jesus Christ, I gotta wash my head. So Baja California is massive. It takes 20 hours to drive from one end to the other. 1,000 kilometers. It's big. It's like 500 miles. It's big as California. So, got a long journey ahead, and most of the journey, there's a big pack of dogs going. Most of the journey is gonna be like this. And as a white gringo traveling through this region, it may not be the safest trip. To make it even safer, I'm going to bring another white gringo with me. Say hello to Simona.
Hola.
Vamos. So there's one major route that goes from north to south on Baja California. It's called Route Number 1, the first route in Mexico. It takes you all the way to the border with San Diego. And this route, well, it's not the best maintained. It's potholes everywhere. You don't know what you're gonna find. Parts of the tarmac are missing in places. And on top of that, there's obstacles. You could find a random cow or coyote that has wandered too close to the road. You gotta stay on your toes. It's not just the narcos you gotta worry about out here. Hola. Bien. Hablo español. De Guerrero Negro y vamos a San Diego.
¿San Diego?
Sí.
¿Usted no habla español?
Poquito.
Poquito.
Sí.
¿Argentina?
No es Argentina, no, es de Czechia, Europa. Sí. Okay. Gracias.
Gracias.
Thanks to Simona, we were able to get a view of that. One thing I've been warned about multiple times driving in this region of Mexico in particular is that people, the cops, the military, they might ask for a bribe. So far I've been lucky. The only bribes I've ever paid, I've been in Africa. Became a master at that over there. I don't know how the Mexicans do it. Ooh, those are fighting words right there. Make America Mexico again. Yeah, Mexico, listen, I love you, but the last time we fought America in a war, it didn't work out too well. Let's put it that way. What is this? Adult psychotherapy treatment plan. And a Bible. So a Bible and a book for mental health. Exactly the two things you expect to find in a trap house. So before we set off on this journey through Baja California, a Mexican guy in a hotel told me that driving along this peninsula would be one of the most beautiful drives of my life. And it's easy to see why. Look at all this. Towards the middle of the peninsula, it's all massive cacti, huge cactuses. Biggest I've ever seen in my life. Massive. Porno cactuses. Alright, so been driving for hours here and we just reached a junction in the road, and then check out the gas station right here. So it says here they have gasoline, coffee, and burritos. Burritos in the middle of nowhere. Let's go try them. Hola.
Espérame. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
¿Hay burritos?
No,
No.
This is late.
I got you.
Because we close at 6. Sorry about that.
What time is it?
6.
Right on the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one meal ahead,
Yeah.
you can get any kind of food.
Okay. Did you used to live in San Francisco?
No.
No? Where'd you get this English from?
Oh, somebody from San Francisco gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
But I like it football too.
Okay. ¿Dónde aprendiste el inglés?
I don't know how to speak English.
I know. What are
I'm
we
learning
speaking?
here. 1.5 years, I don't speak any English word. But I'm learning here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you actually live? Because it seems like we're in the middle of nowhere here.
Back here is my house.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. We are like 20 people in this area. 19 more 1 kilometer ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they all live like
I'm
right
the
up
only
there.
one here.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
Yeah.
probably an introvert. Okay, nos vamos
Thank you.
entonces.
Have a great
Gracias.
one. Take care.
I'll come back before 6 p.m. next time for the burritos.
We're coming big here ever again.
Probably not. Well, he does have a baño. You will find that a lot of people here in Baja California speak some English. A surprising amount of English. I've traveled In a lot of places of Latin America, never found this many people who speak English. All right, time for a little toilet break. All right, so from here, the road branches. That way leads back along the Pacific coast, whereas this one heads more towards the Gulf of California. ¿Tienes rabies? No, no queremos rabies. I hope in this 20-man village, somebody's feeding you. Do we have any kind of thing that could conceivably be food? Oh no!
Oh shit!
All right, guys, I can't feed all of you, but go ahead. We gotta go. Night of the living zombie dogs. Oh shit! Wait, it wasn't even 6 o'clock. He lied. It is really hard to like show you just how empty these roads are. Like the entire time I've been driving, most of the time we don't see a single other car on the road. Passing what looks like an abandoned checkpoint of some kind, an abandoned toll station. Hard to say. Kind of weird. This looks like China. Hey, I got a question for you. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a digital nomad? Well, you may know then, it's not easy running a business. Well, I want to recommend to you today's sponsor, Odoo, and the Odoo Project app. Odoo is an all-in-one management software that provides entrepreneurs with a range of applications to simplify the day-to-day management of their business. That includes invoicing, accounting, project management, website creation, and more. And Odoo grows with you, allowing you to add additional apps as your business develops and your needs change. It allows you to collaborate in real time with greater efficiency, centralizing all your information to make things easier. And importantly, it's very, very easy to use. It gives you a clear overview of your projects. The best part? Odoo allows you to manage your projects for free with this lifetime free first app offer, which includes unlimited hosting and support. Before I was a YouTuber, I actually worked on startups. I had my own business right here in China, right here in Shanghai. And I always wished, you know, I had a software like this, something that could simplify everything. Well, if you want to do what I do, if you want to get out there in the world, explore, live anywhere, I heavily recommend Odoo to help simplify everything. Kickstart your business. Give it a try. Hey, buenos dias. So, last night, decided to stay at what appears to be an abandoned resort. I mean, there's still people running it. There's literally nobody else here. Or maybe this place is still being built. Maybe this place is like a cartel money laundering project. Do I have too wild of an imagination? I don't know. The cartel does own Cancun now, so. So that body of water right there, that's not the Pacific Ocean. That's the Gulf of California. Not the Gulf of Mexico, not the Gulf of America, the Gulf of California. It separates the peninsula of Baja California from the rest of Mexico, what you can call mainland Mexico. Just kind of adds to the feeling of isolation of this region. Even though it's still connected to the rest of Mexico, it does feel like a big island. Okay. Maybe there still are some advantages to Cancun. That water is freezing. Do they have beaches like this in the Czech Republic?
No, we don't have beaches.
Where do you go, like Germany to go to the beach? Quick question for people who are smarter than me. What do you think this shit is? They look like big foam bubbles, but we're in the Gulf of California. What is this coming from? It's not like an oil spill or something, is it? So we're now gonna head to the border. The border with the United States. The border that millions upon millions of people dream of crossing every year. Although that has changed quite a bit. I've heard in Trump's new America, even Europeans are banned from America. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
We might have to sneak her in. Let's go. Vamos. So we have to be escorted out of the property by the one security official. Ciao, hasta luego. I'm telling you. Cartel resort. A nice little cartel resort. What is this called? Tortuga. No, it's called the Rabbit. Don't come here. Big military checkpoint coming up. That is a lot of military right there. Buenas tardes, amigos. We are in Mexicali, which is another border town in Baja California, right on the border with California. That's the border somewhere over there, actually. Mexicali has some interesting history. Historically, it has the largest Chinatown in all of Mexico. So that's kind of cool. And it's also just a few blocks from the border, so let's go check it out. China land. Alright, so it says they have comida china in here, Chinese food. Would you like to try some Chinese food?
I would normally not pick Asian food as my choice of preference.
Right, and that's your problem. But we're gonna cure it today. I'm not seeing a lot of food options there. Possibly future food options. I do like how the local city government is leaning into the Chinese past here. Alright, here's a Chinese restaurant that appears to be operational. They're looking for a waiter with experience. Oh, oh,
Buenas tardes. Es comida mexicana, ¿está bien?
¿Comida mexicana?
Ajá.
No es china.
No.
Para nada.
A un lado. Sí, no, aquí por
Entonces, ¿por qué se llama así? Café chinesca.
Sí, pues es el
Y
tema,
tenéis
pues,
los
de
caracteres chinos y todo.
Sí, pues como es que en sí nomás hay una comida china aquí en todo. Ya lo demás todo son mexicanos.
Hay que adaptar al barrio. Entonces, perdón, señor.
Ok, no pasa nada, no hay ningún problema. Pasa seguido. ¿Se lo va a ver?
Hasta luego. There you go. Even in Mexico, even the Chinese restaurants serve Mexican food. All right, this place, this is the last try to get some Chinese food. Let's see. This is the place. All right, they keep it pretty simple. They got the noodles, they got some chop suey, they got some chow mein. Buenas tardes. It's supposed to be a Cantonese style restaurant. And then for the people that can't bear to eat Chinese food, they even got some pancakes back here, they got some tacos. You know, for people like this, everybody's covered. Not the worst thing in the world, but
广漂亮还是广州漂亮啊？两个都漂亮。
好难说。你在
在哪漂亮一样？
你在这里待了多久啊
我20年了。
？20年。哦。你会说西班牙语？
más o menos。
但是这不是广东的面。
不是，是和墨西哥人吃的。
我看到他们在建筑一个新的地方。
Chinesca。
对对
草原街。
对对，那个地方。
还没建好，但是
他们会什么时候建完吗？
明年吧。
明年吧。OK， 是墨西哥的。
是。
All right, so that was absolutely not a true Chinese food experience, but it was a true Mexican Chinese food experience. What'd you think?
I will stick to Mexican food.
I think I will too. So at the end of the 1800s, As you may have heard, many Chinese came to the United States to build the railroads, help build infrastructure. But then the US passed a law in 1882 called the China Exclusion Act. This made it much more difficult for the Chinese to come and stay in the US. So what happened? They started going south of the border to Mexico. And a really wild story is, this city, Mexicali, there were so few people here that the Chinese were actually the majority group for a long period of time. Imagine that, a city of majority Chinese. Well, this place is the legacy of that. So this is the highway, Mexico Route 5, that leads into the United States. Interestingly, this is the city of Mexicali, and on the other side of the border is a town called Calexico. Isn't that cute? Right over there is the border wall, the ever-present border wall that runs all along the southern border of California to Arizona. It does not cover the entire border between the US and Mexico. But being that this is one of the most highest trafficked points of the border, they decided to set up a wall. And this is some of the lovely economic development you can see right across the border. It is wild that the first neighborhood you run into once you cross the Mexicali is the Chinatown, La Chinesca. It does speak to the history of this place, and it speaks to how perhaps the Chinese viewed this place when they came. Always at the border, ready to go back. Here is what looks like a strip club. A cross-border favorite. All right, so here's the border crossing on foot. Go to the US, go to Calexico. Filming on a border. Oh, that was misleading. Looking like a line to get in there. So we chose the brilliant time of 5 o'clock in the afternoon to cross the border. That is rush hour. That is when a lot of people that maybe work or study across the border are gonna be going home. And now about an hour later, finally crossing onto the US side. Gotta pass through US customs now. I can smell the freedom just around the corner. And here we are, America. Land of soaring healthcare costs. But also the leader of the free world. Let's see how this is different from the other side. I see a black person. That's different. Calexico, the area right outside the border, kind of reminds me of El Paso. You know, like a little area, a few streets dedicated solely to cross-border traffic. And now here we are on the other side, the American side. And how different it is. If I stick my camera right through here, you see the fairly busy city of Mexicali, 700,000 residents. And here on the other side, a bunch of farmland. It's a bit of a mismatch. Calexico only has about 30,000 people. And here comes Border Patrol. How you doing?
They just want to scroll it over, make sure you're not passing anything through the fence. Yeah.
We're allowed to like look at the border, right?
Yeah, you can look, they just want to make sure no one's passing anything through the fence. Yeah, but
we're not doing
good,
it.
you can record, you can walk there.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
That was polite, in spite of the fact that I have a dirty immigrant walking around with me. It's interesting. This border is a bit different than the one over in Tijuana. In Tijuana, you actually have 2 sets of giant bars, 2 giant fences. So if you manage to scale this, there'd be another one that you'd have to get over. And typically you'd be stuck, Border Patrol would come pick you up. Here, as you can see, we are right next to the city. It's weird. Somebody on the other side, a Mexican, anyone, could like walk right up to the fence here. We could have a conversation. And importantly, we could also pass something across that border. And that's what the border... Hi, hola! ¿Cómo están? ¿Todo bien? Vamos a volver en unas horas. Just like that, you could have a conversation right across the border. But importantly, you could pass something through those bars right there. And that is what the Border Patrol came up to warn us about. So this one stretch is actually the blind spot. You can see for most of the rest of the stretch, you have this little barrier that's set up. And then, of course, Border Patrol is hiding right behind it. Watch the blind spot like a hawk. Yep. Not too many people getting over the border these days. So quiet on this side. Such a contrast. Isn't that a nice little tree on the border? Still can't get over the US-Mexico border. There's really nothing like it. A quote-unquote first world developed country right next to a quote-unquote developing country. And I love Mexico. It's probably always going to be a developing country. But just this contrast, two worlds. Usually when you have borders, the countries are pretty similar to each other. US, Canada, France, Germany, Czech Republic. I guess that's a bigger difference. Not too many crazy examples. China, Afghanistan, okay, that's a wild one. It's where I'm going next. No, just kidding. The kind of things you see on the border. Just got a bunch of kids playing basketball in a park. Got a little playground over here. And there's Mexico. The big city of Mexico. Almost always, the Mexican city on the other side is bigger than the US one. Because just being next to America provides jobs in Mexico. Las maquinadoras, factories, where they produce cheap shit. I just think that's wild though. Like, imagine being this little old lady. I imagine it's a little old lady. Living in this house right there. Every day, you walk out your door, and there's Mexico. ¿No habla inglés? Ok. ¿Cómo es tener una vista de México todos los días?
¿Cómo es?
Sí, ¿cómo es?
Pues bien.
Interesante para mí.
No, nomás un poquito aquí.
Ah, ok. Bueno, soy de Nueva York, no tenemos fronteras ahí.
Ok.
Sí, hasta luego. I do have to say, the US side actually looks worse than the Mexican side in many parts. And isn't that interesting? Here on the US side is one of the poorest parts of the city. On the Mexican side, you have like a rich suburb, you have downtown, you have a nice part of the city. Funny how that works. Buenos días. ¿Cómo? Vamos a Ensenada.
Ensenada.
Sí. Gracias.
Gracias.
There is a truck over there where a guy just got pulled out holding a machine gun. Mexico, baby. So now, over here to my left, although you can barely see it, is the Pacific Ocean. Made it to Tijuana. And just over there is the border. Very ghetto looking parking lot. Don't know how secure all of my luggage is going to be in the back of this car, but these are the risks we take. There's the hippodrome. I think they have bullfighting in there. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes,
¿Por qué se visten así?
porque tuvimos una sesión de fotos.
Ah, ok.
Es el traje de Baja California.
Qué bueno.
Nosotros bailamos folclore.
Acabamos de manejar por toda la Baja California. Sí,
Hermoso, ¿verdad?
sí, no, hermosísimo.
Sí.
Estoy de acuerdo.
Como Baja California no hay dos.
Loreto,
Sí, sí.
Cataviña.
Y ahora vamos a la frontera.
Muy bien.
Sí, sí.
Buen viaje.
Hasta luego. There you go. Friendly Mexican ladies at the border. ¿Pagamos ahora?
Sí, serían 100 pesos, por favor. Gracias.
And there it is. The most important and significant border wall probably in the entire world. The U.S.-Mexican border. That is the very start of it. And that is the Pacific Ocean. This is it. Everybody's having a party at the border. Right through here, that is San Diego. Well, technically. It's actually called the Friendship Park. A place that divides the two countries. About 50 years ago, it used to be possible to walk right across this with no restrictions. That park was built as a sign of friendship between the two nations. Buenas tardes. ¿Están acabando o qué es eso? ¿Este quién? Oh. Ah, ok. La compasión. ¿Lo sabes? Ok. Está bien. Es un secreto. Sí, sí, sí. Certainly not suspicious at all. A little tent along the border.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places in Tijuana.
It's a pretty fun time here on the border. Look at all this. But you will notice that nobody's going in the water. I've heard the beaches in Tijuana are just a little bit polluted. Now, if you're thinking this is the spot where drugs are going across, people are crossing, couldn't be further from the truth. This is the absolute worst place to try to sneak something over. Heavily watched. There's a border patrol truck right over that fence that's watching it like a hawk. As crazy as this border looks now, for most of the 1900s, there wasn't much here. At most, there was maybe a little barbed wire fence. There were some people on patrol. But it was a lot easier to go back and forth across this border. It was only in the 1990s, after you started to have waves of migration that illegal from Mexico into the US, that President George H.W. Bush, the father, not the son, signed a bill to have this wall constructed. And then it was under President Clinton that it was constructed. You got the modern version of the US-Mexican border wall. This is an old sign of how open the border used to be. This says that this is the limit, the border of the Mexican Republic. And interestingly, right here, it says the destruction or dislocation of this monument is a crime punishable by Mexico or the United States. So, this was a symbol of unity. Both Mexico and the US were defending this thing right here. Times have changed. And here on this section, you have column after column of missing people. Personas desaparecidas. Tijuana, for many of the years of the last decade, had the highest murder rate in the entire world. most part, I think they're on. Bueno, ¿ustedes son mexicanos?
Ah,
¿Son mexicanos? ¿O norteamericanos?
yeah.
American?
Yeah, American, yeah.
I heard there's like Mennonites on the Mexican border. Oops.
Yeah, we're Americans.
Nice. They told me the water's a little bit dirty though.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
But have a good one. Alright. I'm genuinely unsure what nationality they are, if they're just fucking with me. But they're the only ones going in the water. One of the oddities of the Mexican border is that there are actually communities of Mennonites and Mormons that moved down here decades ago. And they set up these little communities. That's how you end up randomly seeing them here on the Mexican border. Where are you guys from? LA, Boston, New York, San Diego? Okay, I'm from New York. So as you can see, I don't know what kind of atmosphere I expected here on the border, but it's a party. And what day is today? It's like Wednesday. And then the whole way from the coast, you continue to see the border wall. It has to match the kind of difficult terrain that marks the border. Like, it's very elevated. You see the fence going up hills, mountains. So we are now in Tijuana, the most famous border city in the entire world. And also the city for much of the last 20 years that had the highest murder rate. ¿Y dónde está la cartel de Tijuana?
Sí, ahí está la cartelera, mira. Todo
Ah,
ahí.
okay.
Hay más cositas, ¿no quieren pasar a ver?
Ah, sí, sí.
Ahí
And here we are, this way to America. Just a few streets from the border crossing. The busiest border crossing in the entire world. 30 million people pour across that border every single year. So pretty much since its inception, Tijuana has always been a border city that thrived on trade from America, tourism from America. Even back in the early 1900s, 1910, 1920, Americans were coming over here during Prohibition, coming to the bars, strip clubs, just, you know, visiting all the stuff that was illegal in America. And that continues until today. So it's true that Tijuana has a bit of a dangerous reputation. It's very true. We're not going to sugarcoat that. However, if you decide to come here, all you got to do is just stay on this street, Avenida Revolucion. It's like the main thoroughfare. It's where all the bars are. If you're here to get like a lap dance or something, I can't tell you that. But hypothetically, down past that arch, there's a club with the same name as a city in Asia. I don't like, yeah. I'm not saying we ever went there, but yeah, it's down past that arch. Tijuana still has one of the highest murder rates in the world, but it's a fun city.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Son, ¿verdad?
Sí, vamos a la frontera. ¿3 horas para cruzar?
Todo eso hasta arriba,
Sí.
luego baja todo hasta acá, te tienes que formar, mínimo son 3 horas y media
Ah,
para cruzar caminando. Si no quieres hacer la fila, ahorita yo tengo una damita que ya va adelante.
I gotta exchange my pesos.
Comprar $30, pero acepto billetes de 1000. Le quiero
Hola.
comprar $30.
Okay, gracias. ¿Ya está? Okay. Got the USD again. This is literally the busiest border crossing in the world. This is way more intense than Mexicali. And so what ends up happening, if you don't want to wait 3 hours, you have these hustlers that have reserved spots on the line. There's also like these little hacks. You can, apparently if you get on a bus and go over the border that way, you can save a lot of time.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm a little bit hungover from last night. I think we might go with one of the hustlers.
What are you doing, documentaries or what? I'm asking you.
Kind of. I make like YouTube videos.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool.
So where's the front of the line?
Well, this is it right here, because this is like, it's right, it ends right there.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise it's like a link.
Okay. All right, so we were told 15 minutes.
You have to take that risk, man.
We'll see if we just got scammed out of 20 bucks. Really bad with the timing on these border crossings. I'm either crossing it at rush hour or crossing on a Saturday, literally the busiest time to go. You can see all these vendors that have like lined up to try and make some sales on the victims of this long border crossing. Again, 30 million people. 30 million crossings every single year. I can definitely believe it standing right here. So one of our fixers told us that this is a special line for agricultural workers from Mexico. They get their own lane, I guess, to help with all the traffic here on the border. That's interesting. Can you imagine that 50 years ago you could walk across this border without a passport? Imagine that.
Por eso la neta que pido que sea más rico y lo respeto a usted y al güey que lleva adentro. Mi carnal te está volteando a ver bien mal.
You can see through the fence there the massive wave of cars that are waiting to get in. How many lanes is that? I think about 30 lanes. And they're all backed up. The only way to get through this quickly is if you get something called a sentry pass. If you have that, you pass through the border, I think in like 5-10 minutes. But I think you have to live here. It takes like a year or two to get it. ¿Se puede regresar? Sí. All right, back in America. Back, actually, in San Diego. This isn't quite downtown San Diego, but this is formerly a part of San Diego. I think what's kind of cool is like right here, they have a little tram you can take. Kind of like the subway of San Diego. You can take it all the way into the city. But we're gonna pass on the tram because she actually has a car, since she actually lives in the US. And I do not, at least not most of the time. And so of course that's the reverse. Those are the cars going into Mexico. And you notice they're moving a lot faster. Mexico, when you show up at their border, they're basically just like, do you have any form of identification? I'll just come in. It's all right. Come and spend some money. Hey, you've never shown an ID going into Mexico, right?
No, not on foot. And I did it quite a few times.
And it's funny, again, you can see the Tijuana arch, like right there, right there. It's right over that border. It's crazy, like how close everything you'd actually want to visit in Tijuana is to the border. Even the strip clubs are right over the border. They know what you're going for. So what's interesting about this side of the border is you find a kind of like premium shopping outlet. These stores aren't cheap. They got like Gucci, like Armani Express down there. And if you're wondering why that is, it's because with all the cartel violence in Tijuana, but for the rich Mexicans who can do it, they'll buy a house right here, right on the border, on the US side, and then go into Mexico to manage their business. It's just the border life. Kind of similar to El Paso and Ciudad Juarez. And then as you get closer to the Pacific coast, it's actually very rural feeling. Like there's a bunch of horse farms, stables. And so as you get closer to the Pacific, there is a very appropriately named park, Borderfield State Park. And it used to be a place that you could just walk into. You could like see right through the bars at the Mexico, interact with the Mexicans on the other side. In recent years, however, it's a little more unclear. This sign says you cannot drive in. I'm going to interpret that as meaning I can walk in. And we're going to leave it at that. So it's a 23-minute walk to the coast. Not too bad. That's manageable. I mean, hey, if you were crossing that border illegally, you'd have a lot more than 23 minutes. The whole walk, we're not seeing any people, but I am seeing a lot of what appears to be horse shit. Is this one of those places where they have like wild horses running around? I guess after they closed this park up, they would just like, F it. We don't have to clean it anymore. You can still easily see into Tijuana from here. There's the border wall. There's tons of buildings and development. The entire side of the Mexican border is overdeveloped, you could say. Now, I knew it. Gotta stay out of the water. There's sewage in there. Those Mennonites are fucked. In the mid-1800s, after the Mexican-American War, after the U.S. landed at Veracruz, a place we went to on this channel long ago, 5 years ago. My God, time flies. After the U.S. landed in Veracruz, they surged into Mexico City and effectively conquered the whole country. And after that, Mexico was forced to concede the lands that make up the U.S. Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, and California. To the Mexicans, this is not just California, it's Alta California, Upper California. You see where the name Baja comes from now? That means lower in Spanish, in case you didn't know. We finally found someone here in the Border State Park. Now, surprisingly, he's a Border Patrol officer. We're gonna try and walk up to the fence. Pretty sure we're allowed to do that. If I get arrested for this video, I hope it was worth it. Hola! ¿Cómo están? As close as we can get. Cross-border conversation. That's right where we were standing just yesterday. You know, not to get too sappy, but this is the one kind of thing where I do feel, and I really hate this word, privileged. Because I can walk right here, right up to this wall, and people around this globe literally risk their lives, spend tens of thousands of dollars, journey for months to get to this wall and cross it, and be on this side. For all that we make fun of America, people still want to come here. There's an immigrant right here. How did you cross the wall? She didn't do that.
That's a secret.
She wasn't illegal. I'm just fucking with you. How you doing? Good luck crossing the border. All right. Well, now I know where the horse shit came from. San Diego, not such a bad city. And so, that brings us to the end of our journey through the two Californias. A piece of land that all used to be part of the Mexican Empire, but is now divided between two nations. We went through Baja California, a place that's supposed to be a drug smuggling hub, place where you get kidnapped and murdered, but I don't think we did. In fact, it was pretty fun, and I'd recommend you go and visit. Just don't be an idiot. Don't go doing drugs in Mexico. And that is also the end of my travels in the Americas, probably for this year. It's been fun seeing parts of my country, seeing parts of Mexico that I'd never seen before. And it's been fun traveling with Simona, who also has a little YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description. You have a good time?
Yeah, thank you for not ditching me in the desert.
On that note, nos vemos. Sorry, that was Spanish. I'll see you in some other part of the world. I'm gonna go screw off into the Pacific Ocean. Can't wait to see what's next. Bye-bye.